Hey Curious, it's always a sad moment when an iconic and well-known figure passes away. With the difficult times during this global pandemic, we had previously made a video about celebrities such as Prince Charles who had already battled the virus, not forgetting the news that Donald Trump has also tested positive and who, according to news reports, is getting much better and has been discharged from the hospital. The graveness of the situation is highlighted today as the fashion world is mourning the death of Kenzo Takada, the founder and the designer of the label Kenzo Global brand. He passed away at the American Hospital of Paris from COVID-19 complications. He was 81 years old at the time, so join us as we look back at the life and career of this iconic person, as well as a tragedy that changed him forever. Kenzo Takada was born on February 27th of 1939 in Himeji, Japan. His parents were traditional innkeepers who owned a hotel. Young Kenzo developed his interest in fashion by reading his sister's magazine, though he didn't get to study in his chosen field right away, as at the age of 18, following his parents' wishes, he attended the University of Kobe to major in foreign studies. His time on the course was short-lived as he ended up dropping out after becoming bored with it. Now going against his family's wishes, he left Kobe and headed for Tokyo to attend Bunka Fashion College, where he became one of the first male students to be admitted. In 1960, he won the Sewing Prize, which was awarded by the magazine of the same name that was founded by the school. This led Takada to working for the Sanai department store as a designer of girls' clothing. During his school years, Kenzo greatly admired French fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent, who he got a chance to meet thanks to a teacher at Bunka. The young designer's life was changed when, in preparation for the Tokyo Olympics in 1964, his apartment block was going to be torn down, and according to South China Morning Post, he was given 10 months rent as compensation. And so, inspired by French fashion using the money he was given, Kenzo moved to the fashion capital of the world, Paris. When it came to getting ready for his trip, Takada was advised by his teacher to travel by boat and to see many places. In the same interview, he also added that the journey took him to Hong Kong, Singapore, Egypt, and Spain, among others, before finally arriving in Paris. Despite originally planning on staying there for only 6 months, those who turned into 56 years, it took some time for him to settle, but eventually he became a freelance designer, though the start was rough as he knew no one and spoke limited French. At the time, however, Parisian fashion was dominated by well-known and revered couture houses such as Dior and Chanel, and even established designers such as Yves Saint Laurent, who Kenzo admired, and was seen as a reverent start. Italian designer Antonio Maras described the fashion of those times as very institutional and stuffy, adding that the Japanese designer opened the doors for more creative forms of fashion. Kenzo established his signature design look fairly early on. The brand was famous for its blend of ethnic and exotic designs. They incorporated bright and breezy floral designs and tribal prints and experimented with mixing different swatches, haphazard layering. They took inspiration from everything from American pop culture to traditional Chinese workwear, East Asian batik design to Japanese weaving and European peasant smock. His inspirations can be attributed to the designer's travels and the places he visited while on his way to France. Lane R. Webb, who is a professor of fashion at Central St. Martin's College in London, said that Kenzo's collection was all about color, fun, and drama, and it was the reason that he was very popular among young people who were tired and unimpressed by the more bourgeois offerings of the already established brands. And even the French Elle magazine embraced the Japanese designer early on. Slowly, Takada started to infiltrate the Parisian fashion industry alongside other Japanese designers, Kensei Yamamoto and Hanai Marie, though he was still very much at the bottom of the pyramid, and thus in 1970 he opened a small independent boutique that decided to call Jungle Jap, just a name that would cause him some monumentary trouble. He also set up his main line, Kenzo. According to the New York Times, around the Paris fashion world he was known as Jap, a name that he had chosen for him and one that no one saw any trouble with, though the trouble came a year later during his first visit to the United States. Kenzo received a summons from the Japanese American Citizens League, which brought him to court to get him to stop using that name. To them, it brought back memories of vigilante actions taken against the Japanese in the US after Pearl Harbor. However, in the end, the case was dismissed as no monetary loss could be proven. Becoming even more popular within the industry also brought in new connections and friendships for Takada, one of them being with the late German designer and creative director of Chanel, Karl Lagerfeld. He was pictured with him several times, notably at Karl's house when he came to attend Paloma Picasso's wedding, as well as being pictured with Karl at a restaurant in Japan. Kenzo's store was originally originally located at Gallery Vivian, which the owner renovated himself. It was also the venue of his first fashion show. As it began to attract more attention, he decided to move it to a bigger venue. With the growing business came more plans, and he introduced menswear to his company in 1983, a jeans line in 1986, and a perfume line in 1988. Not much is known about Takada's private life besides the fact that he was in a relationship with French architect Xavier de Castella, who passed away at the age of 38 from AIDS in 1990, an event that changed the designer's life forever. And in a 2018 interview with Pressform Info, he said that his greatest desire was to fall in love again, and that ultimately passing of his partner was a wound that he could never be healed of. He also revealed that previously he would drink, party, and use illegal substances, but after this tragic event, he stopped and never done either of those things again. By 1993, he was still struggling with Xavier's passing, and after his business partner had a stroke, Kenzo made the decision to sell the company to the French conglomerate LVMH, or Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, for approximately $80 million. Initially, he stayed on as a designer, but in 1999, he announced that he had enough and decided to step away from the fashion and its frantic pace and commercial demands. The Kenzo brand continued under a series of different designers, including Humberto Leon and Carol Lim, who are responsible for bringing back his signature trend-setting tiger. Later, the current artistic director, Felipe Olivier Baptista, joined the team, and as for Kenzo himself, he explored other creative ventures. He designed costumes for the opera as well as created the Japanese Olympic uniforms back in 2004. He even ventured into designing a homeware collection named Gokon Kobo, which has been available for purchase online as well as many high-end department stores. And in February of 2019, he opened his archives to release a coffee table tome of his work titled Kenzo Takada, which combines sketches, diary excerpts, letters, and photographs. All of his achievements have led to the designer being awarded the Knight of the Legion of Honor at a ceremony at the Constitutional Council building. He was presented with the award by Lorraine Fabius, who is the council's president and who paid tribute to the story of a young boy from Japan who had come and joined the heights of Parisian fashion. The brand has been a favorite of many celebrities who have worn it out and about, as well as to red carpet events throughout the years, such as Rihanna, Michelle Obama, and Nick Jonas. In March of 2018, it was announced that Britney Spears was appointed as a face of the company for their La Collection memento for spring. The theme of the collection was 80s nostalgia, and it featured miniature backpacks, lace-up thigh boots, and underwear made from denim. Speaking about the venture, Spears said that she was worried that her appearance in the advert would somehow be disrespectful to her teenage sons. Only in January of this year, Takada had announced that the launch of his new home and lifestyle brand, which was called K3, and in an interview with Thailand Tatler, the designer revealed that his idea for the collection was to improve one's sense of being through the use of colors and patterns in harmonious ways. The sad news was confirmed by the brand's creative director, Felipe Oliveira Batista, who paid tribute to Takada with a special dedicated Instagram post in which he wrote, "Farewell, Master. It is with great sadness that I have learned the passing away of Mr. Kenzo Takada. His amazing energy, kindness, talent, and smile were contagious. His kindred spirit will live forever." And at the time of his passing, the designer's net worth, according to the website Celebrity Net Worth, was around $100 million. So curious, did you know anything about the iconic designer before? Do you know any pieces from either of his collections? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.